Hi guys, it's Angie and I'm back for another video. Welcome to my cross stitch channel, my Flosstube channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm happy to have more to share with you. It has been an insane week and it's been a crazy day. I have an extra special video that I have plopped at the end of this to show you how extra special my day today has been. If you don't like bugs, don't watch it. But yeah, it's been fun. So last week was the first week of school. The kids did actually quite well. The first day of school was really tough with technology issues, laptop issues, all sorts of little, signing into class. But once the kids got into it, it was fine. The rest of the week went great. We have been waiting for an acceptance into a specialty program for one of my kids. And we got that acceptance over the weekend. And so we ended up having an early morning meeting. It wasn't over, I think we were accepted Friday or Thursday. I can't remember. We had an early morning meeting and my son started this specialty program this week. And it has been a nightmare because not only was he not given a schedule, and then I had to keep contacting the administration to say, where is his schedule? And they kept emailing me one with broken links or wrong times. And I think today, Thursday of week 2, we finally got him squared around. So I'm pretty sure we're at a point now where every single child is learning and is comfortable and is where they need to be. And then of course, just jumping up and being like, oh, I got kicked out of this program. And trying to figure out how to get them back in. And then we had, I don't know, power issues or I don't know. It's been fun. I'm sure everybody who's doing any form of schooling this year is struggling with this, that, or the other. So I know I'm totally not the only one. I actually think I've got it easy, that all of my kids seem to be doing quite well. So, other notes, we have not had rain at all this week until it's supposed to rain this afternoon. And my husband and I are going to try and get out and go do some biking on one of the trails nearby before the rain starts. I don't know if any of you remember, but I think I talked about this in one of my earlier videos, but I love cycling. And last year, in 2019, right after my husband left, I decided to cycle to enter the Texas Hotter Than Hell 100. And I chose to do 50 miles on my bike. And I trained for it and it was awesome. And I did the 50 miles and it was amazing. And I've got, and then after that, I signed up for a virtual bike race. And so I've got a couple of my little medals up there from doing those. The virtual bike race, I took like 3 months to ride 250 miles. And so, but that one isn't the same because it's virtual. And when we thought that my husband was going to be extended on his deployment due to COVID, I decided I was going to enter the Hotter Than Hell again this year. But of course that didn't happen because we ended up moving and we got here and I was so excited to start biking again, except in Texas, you practice, you go out on my bike and I get my 10 miles a day in on this. My entire neighborhood is this. And I am not kidding. Every single street is this giant decrease and then to get back up. I'm not ready for that. Somebody needed to see me for a second, but I'm not ready for that kind of increase in what I'm used to, especially because after all the moving and I have not been exercising very much, so my body can't handle the hills. But my husband went biking with an outdoor group. They went out to one of the local trails. It was just, social distance. There were only like 6 people and they were on bikes outdoors. It was not, my son was one of those people. It was not a big activity, but he went and there's a bike trail that's not even 2 miles from our house. It's got some hills, but it's more or less like a 3-mile loop that's more level of terrain. So we're gonna try and go do that, run the loop. And then once I've seen the loop and gotten used to it, hopefully today, I can get out and do some more biking on my own and gradually get myself back up. I wanna be able to be riding 10, 15 miles a day. That's a good workout for me So we'll see, we'll see. So there's that. And I guess I'm just gonna jump right into haul because I like showing you all the things that I get. First, my last lantern came, and I do not have the batteries in this one, but we've got Oogie, and it's super cute with all the, sorry about the reflection obviously, with the graveyard and the gravestones. And what I like is the back of the lantern is cute as well, so it doesn't look, so if you see it from all angles, it doesn't look funny. I don't know if you'll notice, but most of the lanterns have had all those branches and stuff on top. Yeah, I didn't like those. And when I tried to put all three of these lanterns on one tabletop, those branches got in the way of each other. So I actually pulled all the branches off, and there was a little resin figurine in there with a skeleton and a pumpkin and stuff. And I pulled those off and I put magnets on the back of them, and right now they're on my fridge, but they're meant to become needle minders for future projects. They're on my fridge and they work fine as magnets there too. So third and final lantern, and he's super cute. And I've been trying to kit up World Traveler, which, you know, kitting up a project takes a while. Kitting up a Haid, I did not realize was going to take so much time. And I need to link to her video, but I'm trying to go by Vicky Stitch and Button. She has a video where it can tell you almost exactly how much thread you need per color based on how much thread. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember where she said that she got this, but she put this up on one of her Facebook pages. But it's basically just a chart, and I'm going to link to her video because she explains it way better than I ever could. And then in her video, it will tell you where you can find this chart. But it kind of basically tells you what count fabric, how many strands you're using, how many stitches you will get out of one skein of floss. And so then, depending on how you cut your floss, because I like to cut mine into specific lengths, it can tell you how much one strand of your floss, or two strands if you're doing two strands, you will need for each color. So if color 310 has 6,000 stitches, you can kind of gauge how many skeins of floss you will actually need. And even though, and I know Heaven and Earth Designs gives you a thing that says, hey, buy this many skeins, that's kind of a rough estimate. They're telling you buy this many skeins if you go by what we suggest you do. But let's say you're not doing full cross stitch, you're doing half cross stitch, or let's say you're using a smaller fabric, or you're doing 1/1 instead of 1/2, or, and this way, instead of buying one skein of thread per color for every project, maybe your, you know, I don't know, 3747 can be used, one skein can be used across 3 projects, because you know that in this project you only need 147 stitches of that color, if that makes sense. So that's what I've been doing. I've got it totaled how much thread I'm going to need for the fabric choice I have. It's a little complicated for my brain. That's why I'm going to link to Stitch and Button's video, because she does a great job of explaining it. In fact, I have to reference that video twice while I started kitting up for it, but it's taking forever. And I imagine anybody who's done a Haid will tell me it takes forever to kit the thing up. Okay, this is Editing Angie. I started telling you about my CXC threads, and then I completely lost my brain when I was talking, and I didn't even show them to you. So before I continue with the rest of the video, here's all my CXC. They weren't in any order or anything, so I'm bobbinating all of these to keep them separate from my regular threads, and as I bobbinate them, I'm pulling the strands off that I need for the project, and that's why they're all like this. So I'm just pulling one out at a time, saying, okay, is this one in the project? Yep, okay, let's do it. It probably takes more time than it needs, but I'm watching movies with the husband as we're doing it, and that works for me. So now, back to the regular stuff. Getting all the floss ready, and then I bought giant rings because I thought I would have them on rings and do floss drops, but I didn't want to buy floss drops, so I was like, I'm going to make my own floss drops, and then I realized I don't want to make 239 floss drops. So I just went ahead and I I use these. I love these things. You can get 20 different colors. There's 20 holes on each of these. And for, you know, I already have 4 of them filled out, and I got 10 more. So this should be just enough for one Haid, which sounds ridiculous, but at the same time, if I know that I have a certain number through a certain number on this one, I don't have to keep looking through individual thread drops. I prefer these. Honestly, I prefer these, and I know it's going to be bulky and it's going to be obnoxious having so many cards but this is what works for me. And maybe later I'll try thread drops, but for right now, I'm just doing what's comfortable for me, which is using these. But I just got these off of Amazon. I have 2 different kinds. I have this kind, which come in a pack of 10, and then I have another kind that have a teardrop shape instead of the hexagon. I think that's a hexagon. And it came in a pack of 6, and I think I prefer this one better because the hole is bigger. It doesn't taper into a point on the end here. So anyway, I just got these off Amazon, and they come with numbers if you want to use the stickers. I just use a Sharpie, and then I use like a tiny bit of nail polish remover and just quickly wipe it over. Nail polish remover can ruin your plastic if you use too much for too long. So I just do a really quick swipe, just enough, and it comes off these really, really easily. So I mean, just a quick swipe and it's done. So I got that, and then I also picked up some more Bowen needles, size 28 tapestry needles. I really like these. They're skinny, they're kind of short, which I don't mind. They work pretty well, and I figured I was probably going to need a lot of needles. I keep reading posts about people who do Haids and they keep their thread on their needles. I've done that before a long time ago, and I stopped doing it, and I just changed my needle per color. That doesn't seem to bother me. But maybe when I get a couple pages into a Haid, I'll start thinking, I hate changing needles. I don't know, we'll see. It's my first Haid. Although Middle Earth is similar to Haid. It's not a Haid, but it is a full coverage gigantic piece. So I mean, I haven't done a Haid, but I've been working on something as large. So I got those. Picked up some more of these for, you know, normal. Got my Dr. Pepper because I live on it, and it's probably what flows through my veins instead of blood. And then I got some needle minders in the mail. So this is from Gina's Unique Needle Minders from Etsy. So here's the card I got. Gina's, hard to read on this, but yeah. So Gina's Unique Needle Minders. So I ordered this one. I was hoping I'd be able to find like a super cutesy Bigfoot needle minder, but this was the only Bigfoot needle minder Etsy had, which is fine. I mean, this is awesome. This is the most iconic photo of Bigfoot you will ever find, because obviously. So this is going to go on my Sasquatch project because, of course. And then she sent this along. This was like a freebie thank you for buying, and it just has her shop name, but it's cute. So this will go on any project, really. I mean, it's just a sun and some flowers. And then I also got, and I bought these, and I got these from, okay, there's a lot of them. So this is for Dark Queen of the Seas. This is for the sow. But these are the 2 needle minders that go with the Dark Queen of the Seas sow. Super cute. So there's that one and there's that one. And you can buy them separate or you can buy them together. And if you buy them together, there's a slight discount. Whereas if you bought them each individually, it would be more expensive. So I picked those up because I already got everything else that goes with it. Why not? And and last but not least, sorry. So when I started doing things with virtual stitchers, it was a lot of fun to just listen. And I don't remember how many months ago, but Haid has limited edition charts that they will put up, and as it says, they are limited edition. Once they are no longer available, they are no longer available. So if you don't buy it, you're pretty much out of luck. And everybody was talking about the pattern magic study, and Virtual Stitchers was doing a giant stitch along for that, and it's a pretty pattern. It wasn't one that called to me initially, and I wasn't really interested in trying a Haid at that point, because I was like, I don't know, I've got all these other projects. Do I really want... Obviously, we know that I've changed my mind on that because I have World Traveler and Sasquatch. But the more I saw people starting to stitch it, and the more they were talking about it, and the more that image would flash, the more I'd start to, peer pressure. It's peer pressure. That's all it is, I'm sure. But also, I would tend to pick patterns for things that I could hang in the house, or something that I was like, well, I like this, but would anybody else? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if anybody else is going to like it. If I like it, I should stitch it, right? Because I'm the one doing it. It's not meant to just be for everybody else to enjoy. It's for me to enjoy. Well, by the time I'd finally come around and thought, maybe I'll give it a try, it was gone. It was done. Sorry. Okay. I'm not heartbroken. It's fine. But then I see everybody stitching on it and I feel, oh, that's a little sad. And so then I started joining the other SALs because I wanted to be involved, which I haven't been involved at all because I haven't been able to get on at all because of my computer. I need to get back on there. I just need to do it. Phone, whatever. But anyway, yesterday as I was scrolling through the many Facebook posts that I see, come to find out that Heaven and Earth Designs has brought back 3 of their limited edition patterns. At least they're knocking, right? Okay, so yes, Heaven and Earth Designs has re-released 3 of their previous limited edition patterns. And I believe I saw that they were going to be available until October 14th, but don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that was the answer to the question on the Heaven and Earth Design Facebook page. But the 3, there was Tea Time, which I'd never heard of, but apparently a lot of people did, Magic Study, and there was one other, but I can't remember the name, so I'm going to link below the page on the Heaven and Earth Design website where you can see these limited editions, so you can decide if you want them yourself or not. So I went ahead, yes, and I bought Magic Study, and when am I going to start it? I don't know. When am I going to kit it up? Probably before the end of the year. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody in one of the Flosstubes I watched said, is it any different having multiple projects going and just sitting off to the side, or just having the pattern in your collection sitting off to the side? And that kind of made me think, it actually isn't. I mean, it's still not getting stitched whether you've started it or not. At least if you've started it, you've got that you can fall back on if you are in the mood. Does that mean I want to get a whole bunch of whips going? Still no. But I might be a little more flexible on what I've got. I don't know. We'll see. I put a little bit more into Avatar. You know what? I'm going to pretend I have a little bit of knowledge about how to make this work. There we go. Put a little bit more into Avatar, obviously. Now we've got the arm. It's all just solid color, so you kind of have to be in the mood to work on it. And so pretty much I'm doing Avatar when I can use it for a prompt. I did a little bit more work on Dark Queen of the Seas. I got the color in the mail, and so now I've got more of the tail going, and it's beautiful. And really, this doesn't take long to stitch. We keep having delivery trucks driving down our street. That's like the 3rd one since I started this video. But anyway, it's not a long stitch. I just honestly have not taken a lot of time this week stitching on these other things because, and I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, that's it for Dark Queen of the Seas. But I have, okay, we're gonna call it a finish. It's not exactly a finish yet because I'm still double checking on whether or not I'm adding anything else. But I have a finish. Ta-da! Now, before you say, wait a second, something's wrong. It's different. Yes, it is. I don't know what has happened, but with this and with Star Trek, I started in the middle, which I fold my fabric in half, I fold it in half again, and I mark the middle with a needle, and then I find the middle mark on the pattern and I start from there, which is what I did. And I did this on Star Trek too. You will notice there's quite a big difference on the amount of fabric on each side. Now, when I showed this to you last, I had this upside down. I'm so smart. Okay. I had a bunch of scroll work up here, which you can kind of see where I unpicked. So imagine all of this. If I had done this and done the border on this side, the border would have come to about here, which does not leave me hardly any room to make a pillow or to frame it. And I remember telling you guys I was not sure if I even wanted to do the border in the first place. So I went ahead and I just unpicked the border. I think it looks just fine. I feel like the words on the sides and bottom complete the, that looks like it's got a border anyway. The only thing I'm unsure of is there's some scrolly things here and here that I didn't want to do, so I didn't stitch those. But in the border, there's a Hogwarts letter, there's a pumpkin juice, there's a couple little things. So I have not quite decided yet if I'm going to say put a letter over here and something else here. This right here is the antlers. You can't see it in the light, but there's the antlers. So that's not a giant space. Oh, and there's a stray fluff. But this is pretty much done. So I'm gonna go through it, just double check and make sure everything, I've still gotta fancy up this Slytherin, the S, and I gotta make sure there's no other fine details that I need to add. But I'm pretty sure if I do anything, it's just gonna be to add the Hogwarts acceptance letter and the pumpkin juice or something else like I did with the train, and then it's done. So as of right now, I'm calling this done minus that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it, which will take out those marks from what I unstitched. And then I'm going to start hunting for some good fabric. And I'm not sure where, maybe you guys can help me because I'm not a seamstress. I have some basic sewing skills. When I was a kid, I took home ec and I learned how to do some pretty decent sewing. I made skirts and t-shirts and stuff like that. But we had a Sew and Save, and we had the Joann's fabric, and I don't know if there's a Joann, I guess I should look it up if there's a Joann's near me, but right now the only fabric store I personally know of is Hobby Lobby, and that's not a very big selection. Our Walmart, or at least the one that's closest to me, doesn't even have fabric. So I'm not sure where to go to find specialty fabric because I really want a Harry Potter themed fabric for this, for the back. And if I make Star Trek into a pillow, I want a Harry Potter themed, or a Star Trek themed fabric for that. So I need to find, or I don't know, are there online stores that are really good for picking up fabric? Because I only need, what, a half a yard of fabric for that. So that's it. But that's what I've got. So that means, that's another finish. And yeah, all that I have that I'm working on is just random stuff, the other random stuff. So this week I'm going to work more on some of the other things. I'm kitting up stuff and trying to get some starts going because now I have a bunch of these finishes, which is exciting. And I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it for now. Thank you again for all of the suggestions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. If you come back, thanks so much for commenting. I know I'm terrible. I'm not terrible. I'm not going to say I'm not terrible because I do answer the comments. I just don't always answer them immediately. Sometimes I forget to check the comments. I'm not attached to my social media, so I don't always think to go and look. But I do read all the comments, and I do appreciate the comments, and I love chatting with you in the comments. And if I don't chat a long response, it's probably because in the moment I'm in the car or something. And sometimes I think to myself, I'm going to get back to that person and talk to them again, and sometimes I forget. So I promise that I love all the comments, and I appreciate the suggestions, and I like the tips and tricks and anything and everything. So please keep them coming. Thanks so much. I love it. And I am gonna sign off and warn you again that if you don't enjoy bugs, I say bugs, creepy crawlies, then you may not want to finish the video. If you don't care, have fun, because I took an situation and tried to make it fun. And so I had a great time making this. So talk to you later.